spider bite herb.
This is the partner. This is a
Yeah.
2-ounce jar.
Um,
Call it the partner.
um, about 5 years ago, living in the Midwest, we were inundated with brown recluse spiders and black widows and
Absolutely.
poisonous spiders, copperheads. Um, I had a number of different people going. If you're the herbalist you say you are, you need to come up with something that's going to get these brown recluse spider bites off of us.
Yep.
I mean, the people down at the lake where we're at,
Right.
they were getting bit 2 and 3 times a day.
You're in the woods. They're out there.
Unbelievable.
This is Missouri.
Everybody's cabins are down there. They're open. So it took honestly it took about a year and a half for me to put together a formula that worked every time, and we did.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an amazing how this works. Um,
You mentioned before the way the herbs work together. You have to make sure that they tag each other. Just because they're in there may not do what it says.
Right.
They have to work together, right? Like a recipe.
Exactly. You have to tag. The herbs have to tag each other, and this formula. At the beginning of this interview or the radio station, I remember I told you about the book, the book that I bought from.
Absolutely.
This was the herbal formula that was in there for poison spider bites and snake bites, and this was one of the formulas in
That's
there.
this guy right
It told
here.
me it told you what the herbs were, but it didn't tell you what the percentages were. The percentages had to be exact, or it won't work.
Absolutely.
So I can tell you everything that's in this, and it wouldn't mean a thing to you.
Right.
And you can go out and buy the herbs. You can buy it at Mountain Rose Herbs.
But it's just like baking a cake. If you don't have the right amount of flour, the right amount of egg, and the baking soda,
or
it's not going to
vanilla
activate, or the
yeast
vanilla.
and- yeah.
It's not going to work like it's supposed to.
No, you're going to have a flat cake.
I don't know about you, but I know I've made a couple
Yeah.
flat cakes back in the
I don't
few
make
years
cakes,
back.
but I eat them. But that's exactly it. This is a formula, just like any chef would put together a formula. If you don't have the right formula, you're not going to have the right ingredients. You're not going to have the right compound. You're not going to have the right herb.
Right, and it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. So it took me a year and a half to get it right, and I had a lot of people. Thank you very much, everybody. Put up with me going here, try this, here, try this, here, try this, because I didn't know if it was going to work or not. Well, finally it did, and I've got it perfected to where it works every time on brown recluse spider bites. I also had a young man text me or send me a text that he and his girlfriend was out in the woods camping. They were 2 hours away from anything civilized. He stepped outside his tent and got bit in the ankle by a copperhead. Well, the only thing he had was the herb because of the spiders. So he remembered me saying something about snake bites. So he packed it up and wrapped it up and started to head for town.
Right.
And by the time they got, a little bit down the road, he said the pain stopped and the swelling went away.
No need to keep going.
I'm not recommending anybody go out and get bit by a copperhead or a rattlesnake to see if this works, but that's allegedly that's what it's for.
Right.
For spider bites and poisonous snake bites. It is amazing. It works so well.
And we have that available in the 2 ounces, and then that one over there by you, Doc, is the.
We have a carrier.
It's what we call the Traveler.
That we use for people with backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we're trying to see if the military is going to try to pick us up for the soldiers to have this on their backpacks.
I would love to do that. I don't know how to go about.
I don't know how to get a hold of the government
it would take
to do this, but I've had a couple people that corpsmen that looked at this and said, "My God, this needs to be in everybody's backpack."
Absolutely.
Because they saw how well it worked, not only on spider bites, but we've formulated another product for Triflex Men for horses, for animals. Unbelievable. What normally would take 3 months to heal a wound, this does it in 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration.
No.
If you go on a
pictures
website,
on the website.
if you go on a website, you'll see that that's not an exaggeration. So it works on any open wound. It works on any open wound.
It works almost like a magnet. It draws the infection to the top, to the herb.
It draws the infection out. It's like a drawing herb. And the nice thing about it is that it draws it and it heals from the inside out instead of the outside. And the inside is going to fester and get infected.
And then the infection gets stuck. Sometimes I know some wounds will seal up from the outside. It looks like it's better, and then it bursts through. Like my dad, he had neck surgery, and when they had closed him back up, it had been swelling. It started swelling up there on his neck, and he actually went back into the hospital. And it was kind of wasn't comical, but it was kind of comic. Like hearing the story about it all, it was kind of gross actually. But it had busted back open because the infection was still inside there, and it pressured, and
Sure.
it went
Absolutely.
pretty nasty.
Well, you and I, you have a mutual friend, Charlie Lake.
Absolutely.
He just had a really, really, really bad HCV accident. He ended up having to have skin graft on his foot, and a really bad accident.
He's lucky to still have his leg.
It took about 3 weeks to get to heal up, but it healed from the inside out, and there's no after infection.
Right. We have a video of this on our YouTube page, but he had went through. They did the skin grafts. They did, they had the machine that they pumped on there, and it kept draining from it and everything. Yeah. And then he went after he did all of that. They went through and they had another medicine for him to put on it. Well, it got to the point it was kind of stagnant, if I remember right, and he could still move his foot.
Right,
and
it
you
was in the bend of the wound was in the bend of his in the bend of his foot.
Yeah.
And every time he moved his foot back and forth, it would open and close.
Yeah.
Open and close and never heal.
It got stuck at that stagnant point, and then he started putting our ESP-15 on there.
Packed it in there.
Packed it on there, and 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It was closed over. The skin was grown back,
and everything was fine.
Pain-free.
Yep.
That was pretty impressive. And actually, he once he got to the point that it had created a scab, he quit using it and just figured, okay, I'm good. There's no infection there. Well, I told him, I said, try putting this back on there. I'm just curious to see, because I think it was almost 2 weeks later, and he still had that scab on there. I said, put some of that herb on there and see how long it takes it to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, it took nearly as long for that scab to fall off on its own as it did for this wound care for the ESP-15 to seal up that open hole on his ankle. Like,
right.
It's pretty amazing herbs.
Right. It's it didn't fall off because it wasn't done.
No.
It wasn't done working on it.
No, it's that scab's still there.
Yeah.
It's because it's still trying to rejuvenate.
Right.